If you want to get a high score in this boss, here's kind of everything you need to know, and I really hope this helps. It's been like 2 hours since it dropped, and let's get into it. Hey guys, I just finished my Pelagios runs with my kind of scuffed team, and I think I'm pretty ready to tell you guys how to beat it. So the Pelagios boss dropped maybe 2 hours ago or so, and I'm already top 100, which obviously I will be pushed out of eventually. But this is my team. So eventually I will have a more free-to-play friendly team with like only epics or primarily mostly epics, stuff like that. Because I don't, not everyone has Silas, Hatsit, Razak, A4, all that stuff. But what I do have to say is I might be the only person in the top 100 without Nyx. No, Quaz is more free to play or whatever and doesn't have Nyx. But the fact that I'm in with all of these Nyx people, who's clearly the best unit for this, is kind of impressive. So let me just kind of break it down for you guys. Before we get into that though, I'm gonna go over some of these top teams because I think it's worth mentioning. Number one, you don't need Silas if you have these guys. These are very, very high awakenings, but something to note is Elowen is actually pretty good because of her global rage regen. So if you don't, you know, have Silas or anything, or you don't really have a couple of these key units, you can always bring in Elowen. You can bring Theowen. Theowen's very, very good. I will be leveling him just for this, for when I do a more min-max approach. Also, the Somi team is insane that this is top 5 right now. That's impressive as hell. You know, just kind of scroll through, see what other people are using, and adjust accordingly. I'm using Maul instead of something like Kai or Pelagios, who I do have. As you can see, I do have Pelagios, I do have Kai. I was experimenting with them, and I maxed Kai just for this, only to not use him because Maul is actually better. Maul's utility with his ultimate actually going through things, unlike Kai's, who does get Pierce blocked really easily, while he slows a ton, which will allow you to get more boss damage and damage on the tridents. It's instrumental. It's the only reason why I was able to get SS and around top 70, and it's just because Maul is amazing. He also did more damage. Hatsit as well. Let me just go over the gear as well while I'm going through it. Maul has this curse set, not too bad, but could be a lot better. Hatsit has this Ageless Wrath set, which once again could be better, but you want to focus more attack because that is more important. My Hatsit is A2, which does have an advantage, and I'm using her thing right here, although you could use Idril's Gaze instead. Hatsit is really good for just clearing the minions. She does not do any boss damage, but that's okay. Dolores is there to boost your main two. My main two are Silas and Razak. Essentially, you want to boost whoever's either damaging the tridents, because that is very important, and I'll explain why, and I'll go into the boss in a second. And also, you want to just do it because they damage the boss. Silas, I do have his like a crit damage build. I don't know if that's better or worse than what other people are using for like more attack or anything. I also have his exclusive, but Spirit Siphon might actually be worse. I don't know. And then Razak, it's very, very important you build him with a lot of attack. Or Nyx, whoever you're using. Nyx and Razak are by far miles ahead the best units for this. You want to have mostly attack. So I have attack bonus on all of these, and I'm running Warlord, so I have a lot of attack, and he has the only max sharpshooter crest. So Maul has a base sharpshooter crest, and Silas has an exclusive. And then Araka does not matter. You could use Lunaria instead, who actually will do damage, but I'm using Araka because I have her, and she's the best. Yovar will be the best when he releases, but he's not out yet. So first of all, let me get into how the boss works. So the boss kind of comes up in the middle. First of all, I will be placing my units with Razak first so that he gets Invig. I will be placing it like this. One second, here. And then I will be putting Silas right here. And then I'm going to put Hatsa on the side, who's only going to be for the mobs, and then Maul on the right, and that's all the placement we need. At the beginning, you want to just hang out, but as you can see by these tridents, the way that they work is whenever you break a trident, it does a lot of boss damage. So the main goal here is to do as much boss damage, obviously. So because we're doing like no damage to the boss, what you want to do is you want to be breaking the tridents to get that damage. essentially. And then the minions will come out on the side, and their entire goal is to block your damage so that the boss doesn't get damaged. Okay, so the aim of the game is just straight up trying to kill the tridents. That's the whole thing. Now there are a couple things to note on the guys on the right and the left, the guys that come in, the minions, is you actually really want to keep an eye on them, because occasionally there will be one that generates energy and one that heals, which is really instrumental to keeping your side units alive. As you can see, this green one, if I kill it, it heals everyone. There are a lot of different properties these guys have. Also, my timing is not ideal, so I will not be getting as high of a score as I have. But basically, you just want to always be looking out for that. That guy right there, that looks like it's like electric or whatever, will end up giving us energy, which is perfect because, I mean, energy is important. Moving on, I will be triggering Razak here and Dolores, and as you can see, more than a mil damage, and we're doing pretty well for ourselves. I should have timed things maybe a bit better, but as long as you're timing your people next to Dolores with Dolores ult, you're gonna be fine. Hatchet is there to clear the sides for obvious reasons, and yeah, it's going great so far. We're already at A. We're just pushing. Once again, the tridents are the most important. We will be missing a couple because we're using Hatchet, but Hatchet just was so much better than the other people I used. And unless you have high awakenings on your Pelagios, which who the frick is ever gonna have that, you're gonna want Hatchet or Maul, depending on whoever. Now we're going to continue to clear these guys as best we can. I'm gonna save Razak ult for when we're kind of closer to Dolores ult, as you can see, just in case. And we're just doing our best. I'm hoping Razak can kill that guy, which he can, which is perfect, in order to allow us to get the ultimate, and then we're gonna keep cycling. Razak obviously doing most of the work, and here is the round where I think we might lose. In my winning run, I did actually beat this part, and we won because of it. But I mean, I don't think I'm winning it right now. So keep in mind that if you're Dolores ulting and you're Razak ulting, and Nyx as well is obviously the best wave clear, you're able to barely beat enough tridents to be able to tank it, and then that would have brought me towards SSS, and I would have won. But for the most part, this is just kind of showing you what to do. Obviously not too in-depth of a guide, but it is still relevant. Razak did a lot less than he usually does because I timed him badly with Dolores because I was commentating. Hatchet usually does a bit more. Silas does a lot more because I timed him really poorly. And yeah, so let's just look at the stats on my previous run right here, where I ended up getting SSS barely. Razak did over 100 mil. Nyx can do over 100 mil at A0, which is absurd. Obviously, you want awakenings because Razak and Nyx both have some of the best A5s in the game. Silas does a ton. Hatchet does a ton. Maul does pretty respectable damage. And Araka's just kind of loitering, which is kind of funny. I've already been bumped down a little bit. I will not continue to be top 100. But yeah. Also, I do have to say, why the heck is no one SSS? Why does the game refuse to release content that is possible? I feel like top 5 should be able to get SSS, but whatever. It's just a pet peeve. I recorded a whole other part that was essentially pointless, so I'm just gonna do the outro now. But yeah, so it's not the best guide ever. I assume some things will be found in the future, but I will have some more videos on it. This is just kind of like a first impression. Hey, here is how you beat it. Here are some tips. Here's everything you gotta know. And I really hope this helps, even if it's not perfect. Just do your best, and you'll do pretty well. Obviously, if you have a Raka, you'll do better. Some people don't actually use her. I remember seeing one person who's probably gone now who didn't use any Piercer Lords, which is really interesting. And there is actually a lot of Lunaria, which is pretty good. So just keep in mind that no matter what your roster is, just try to be timing these things kind of similar to how I said. Not really how I did, because I did mess it up a little bit, but just do your best and you got this, alright guys? So that's about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and Destined signing out.